Today we'll be talking about fake news and how to spot misinformation. Like I've said earlier, when I was presenting, I said the period that we are is a period that the technology has provided a platform for us to talk to ourselves, which we are doing today. And it is also a platform that some people, some elements are using to also misinform the public. So, as a media practitioner, I said I'm a media practitioner. Um, I'm a gender advocate, a social crusader. So, it is our duty to also inform the public on how to spot fake news and misinformation in the social spaces. And it is very important to let people know how to spot these informations, this fake information, so that they will know how to put out a correct narrative out there. Because we discovered that this fake information, they create a lot of damage more than the good. So this is my slide, the introduction of what fake news is all about. But if I may ask, anybody in the house, can you just tell me how do you think you can spot anything that is misinformation? Have you ever believed anything online that turned out to be false? Have you had that experience? Can you share one or two experiences so that it's not about me talking alone, so that it will be more interactive?
Yes.
So can you quickly share your experience with us? What the information is and how it turned out to be false?
Okay, so I've come across various job listings, majorly on platforms like Twitter. Then that's now it's called X, by the way. So I think I saw a job listing for a software job, web design, front end. And by the time I clicked the link and it took me to the page, it turned out to be a fake page and a fake link. So I just had to leave there because I didn't want my information to be tampered with.
Okay, good, thank you. Can any other person share experience?
Okay, like I have what I want to say though. Which year was it that everybody started shouting up and down that well, let me bring it up that we lost our former president who just died recently, and the news went really far. It went viral, and to many of us. Initially, we gave into it. We wanted to believe, or we believed actually, and in fact, we're even posting it, and it resulted to a very serious argument. Just for us, so like for me personally, to later discover that if this thing is true, then it should come from the right sources or the right channel. So that is part of it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gavi. That one is quite interesting. And while you were sharing that experience, something just came to mind. The day the president died, President Buhari, I was in, former President Buhari, I was in a meeting. I remember I was very, very vividly, I was in a meeting. Immediately, I saw that news flying on the social media. I remember that sometimes in 2013, some Nigerians came to the social space and said, Buhari is dead. And what we are using is it's a robot president that we have then. So immediately I saw that story. I said, fine, let me first of all check this story. So I put his picture out to Google search. A lot of results popped up. I ignored that. I went to my office platform, the network platform, the Abuja platform. I saw news about it. So I said, fine, Buhari is dead, indeed. So what am I trying to say? I know that my platform, Radio Nigeria, cannot carry me. There is no way. It's even part of our policy. You can't put out a false narrative. When you are not sure, you don't go near it. When you can't confirm from a credible source. Okay, since the time we have been talking about fake news, fake information, have you at any point seen any fake news on BBC?
That's just some of us don't really follow BBC so much. So
okay, so we don't follow BBC, fine. So that's the standard for us at Radio Nigeria. That's our standard. You can't carry when you are not even sure about a particular information. You don't go near it, because when you go near it and you push that narrative out, there is a consequences for that action. So most of the time, people carrying fake news, platform carrying fake news are platforms that are not credible. So we'll get to that. The next slide, please. Okay, so what is fake news? So, like I've put it in my slide, fake news is anything that is false or misleading information that is made to look like a real information. Those people spreading fake news, they create that impression and they make it look so real. And it makes it easier for them because there are some tools that you can easily use to manipulate information, either for audio or for video. There are a lot of apps, there are a lot of tools that you can use on the social space to manipulate information. So anybody putting out a fake information is just to mislead his followers. And this information basically are spread on online. It can be used to trick people, it can be used to cause panic, and it can also be used to promote a specific agenda. Look at it now. Gradually, we're coming to a political period in Nigeria where we'll be having another election. By the grace of God, you see what will start coming up in the next few years. When election is coming, there's a lot of fake news. So the political class, they use it to confuse their followers. They recruit people online to distort the media space to make fake information trend so that one party will confuse the other through fake information. So people trying to push out fake narrative, they do it for a particular purpose, either to confuse their followers, either to cause panic, either to trick people, like the job example that he mentioned. A lot of fake accounts, they are out there to say, oh, we have a job of 500,000 for you. You can come, you can click on this. In fact, most time when you click on such a link, it's a fake link, and before you know it, you compromise your account. So then, apart from that, can also is an information that is entirely fabricated or involve twisting real facts to create a misleading impression. You can see at this period that we are, we can't say that technology is not always good, but the only thing that we need to do is to be abreast of issues, to be on top of our game so that we don't be a victim. Like I mentioned earlier, it's so funny that there are tools that can manipulate somebody's voice. And you think that it's really somebody that is saying that thing, but it has been manipulated. The video has been manipulated. The audio has been manipulated. They can put somebody's voice to the president's voice. Meanwhile, it's just to manipulate the president. So these are the things that are happening nowadays. The next slide, please. So what about misinformation? Misinformation as well is also false and inaccurate information that is shared, but not necessarily with the intent to deceive. Anybody carrying misinformation? Misinformation is very common on the WhatsApp. You know why it's common? Because the only thing it takes you is just to share. When you see something like this, it doesn't just data. When you have data, you can share. You can share one information and share it to 100 platforms. The person sharing it is not to cause panic. He's only sharing because he doesn't know the harm about what he's sharing. So that's the difference between fake news. The person that is sharing fake news is to cause panic, is to confuse people, his followers. But misinformation is just somebody's just sharing for the sake of sharing. Next slide, please. So fake news can impact in several ways. Like I've mentioned earlier, it can impact your followers in several ways, can impact those on the social space in several ways. And one of the ways, friendship, rumors spread online can cause damage. Like somebody who just shared this experience that sometimes ago he saw a job application, he clicked on that particular link on the Twitter. Now it got out to be false. If he's coming across such platform in future, he will not have a trust in them because already they've showed an impression that they carry fake information. Then school safety, false threat can create unnecessary panic. I thought this class would be perfectly for children, so I try to use the experience because most of the time young people they are domiciled in the school environment. So I want it to resonate with them that okay, when fake news come up in school environment, how do you think such creates a panic? Does such create a kind of distrust from the management to the student. Then the reputation, misinformation can also harm. It can harm and how people, it can also misinform how people perceive a particular information. Then the choices, when there is a misleading information, it can influence the health and the academic decision of people, especially in the school environment, in the social spaces as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so the differences between fake news and misinformation, we can see from what I put out here so that I don't continue to read everything, but making it practical, I have some video, I have a picture that will tell the story better. Let's go to, okay, fine. That's the 10th slide. Okay, I hope everybody can see this slide. I hope we can see this slide.
Yes.
Good. So look at it. Look at what we are having on this slide. Sometimes ago in Nigeria, why after Yaya Bello's exit from office, Yaya Bello is the former governor of Kogi State. After his exit from office, and when he was having the EFCC case, this picture pop up. This is the picture of Yaya Bello. This is the picture that was circulating on the social media. A lot of people believe this picture, and there were narratives that were carried the picture that Yaya Bello want to run away from being arrested by EFCC and is trying to exit the country. So this image pop up. Meanwhile, it was fake. The picture was manipulated. So look at it. They put Yaya's Bello head on that picture. You can see. Meanwhile, the original picture is this woman. This woman is the wife of the former Senate president, Ken Namani. So they use her picture they manipulated her picture and put Yaya Bello's head on the picture. It's very, very funny. It can be very, very funny. So you can see. So these are the things that happen on the social media. Even when it comes to audio, they use deep fake. You manipulated people's audio and when people come across it, you think that's the real thing that has happened. So these are the challenges that the social spaces has created for us. But at the same time, it's also a blessing. Social media is also a blessing in disguise because it has made a lot of people, and it has also helped to make information faster and take the news to the people. You know, how many of us now listen to radio? How many of us has the patience to sit on and watch the news on TV? But okay, next slide, please. So how do you spot fake news? You can have 4 checks. You can source check. These are very important. When you want to confirm information, like the other participant that said he went to Twitter he saw a job a job advertisement and he was trying to find. Next time, you can always check. You can source check from a credible news platform. You can fact check. This is what we do now as journalists. We fact check our information. When we come across information, we fact check it. You verify through multiple platforms. Then you date check, either current or outdated. There are some information that they put out. When you check the date, you discover that it has happened in 2015. It has happened in 2020. So you can fact check through your date. Then emotional check. You can also do an emotional check. But most importantly, this fact check. Let me give us the tools to fact check. Fact checking, you can, when you come across information, you can screenshot it through your phone. Screenshot it, then place it on a Google Lens to check. You can place it on a Google Lens to check. Maybe the information, immediately you place it on your Google Lens on your phone, it will search for that information from multiple platforms. So immediately it will bring up the results. And you will know maybe it's fake information. And when you put it on the Google Lens and it's checking for that information, if that information cannot be found on anything on the Google space, it will come up and say there is no result for it. You know that such information does not exist. It was only manipulated through the support of apps. So that is very, very important. Then the next slide, please. the reason why we need to fact check our information is because of the consequences game. There are a lot of consequences for fake information, because when you put such narrative out there, it may affect the people receiving the information. It may go, in fact, sometimes ago, the Nigeria army was addressing press conference, and they were trying to also rail out the consequences of fake information. And I remember the chief of army staff, the chief of defense staff said that during when there was one general chief of army staff that died some years ago, I think about 2 years now. I'll remember his name before the end of this conversation. He was traveling to, I think, Adamawa State with some officers. They were going on an assessing mission, I think, assessment mission. So their plane crashed. And the next thing was, I think Sahara News was the first to break that news. And he said, and the chief of defense said, they wanted to put out the news, but they wanted to speak to the widows that, oh, fine, your husband was on a mission to social state and he is dead. But before you know it, they have put out the information. It was even on the TV. It was through the platform, the Sahara platform, that the widows got to know that their husband is late. So you can see, you don't know the consequences of such. Assuming those women were having blood pressure or anything, they may also die in the process, because it comes to them like a shock. So these are the consequences of information put out without properly confirming or properly allowing the necessary authority to put out such narrative. So we must be aware that there are consequences for putting out fake information. Then this is the next slide, please. Actually, I developed this for teen-friendly prevention tips. I said, but it's also useful for adults. We must pause before we share information. Like I said earlier, you screenshot your content before you confirm it instead of reposting. It's not everything that you see on WhatsApp that you share. There are a lot of group platforms that are not credible. They see a lot of information, they just dump it there. When people know that you don't allow sharing information, especially information that you cannot verify, then they will stop sharing and sending it to you. Then apart from Google Lens, you can also cross-check your information that you are not sure about on African Checks, Snopes, or BBC Verify. All these things are on our social media platform. As long as you have data, you can get this verified. Just put it on Google. Google will pop it up, and you are good to go. Then, most importantly, follow a trustworthy influencer. There are a lot of influencers. I'm a social media influencer. I'm a social media. Follow those ones that are very, very trustworthy and that are verified, and they don't carry misinformation. These are very important, so that for our sanity, it's even important, so that you don't continue to follow people that spread fake news. So, next slide, please. Q&A, we'll come back to Q&A. Next slide. And we'll have a pledge for those of us in this meeting. Okay. So with fake news and misinformation, you have a choice. You can be part of the problem because it's a menace in our society. You can make a resolution to be part of it, or you be part of the solution. And it is important, no matter how small we are on this platform, we can be part of the solution. And how do you become a solution? By ensuring that you verify your information before sharing it. Then you go to the credible platform to verify your information. Then other things you can do is to also ensure that you listen to credible platform so that you can verify your information. Then let's go to the pledge. I check before I click, and I think before I share. Please, let's put this at the back of our mind. I check before I click, and I think before I share. So thank you very much. I don't know if you have any question. I'm here to do justice to your questions. Thank you for your time. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, man. We are happy to learn from you.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, so questions. Because there was a question I received before we started, and the question is that we have many bloggers on Facebook, on Twitter, yes, on Facebook, everywhere. In fact, they're everywhere. Somebody just will wake up today, create a Facebook page, or go to YouTube, create a channel, and then they start posting everything and anything and everything. Are there penalties for the fake news and to such persons and to their platforms? And are those penalties or consequences, are they effective? If yes, why are we still having this? If no, why are we not having, consequences or penalties that are not being effective? Since this is something that's affecting both emotional and psychological well-being of the people.
Okay, thank you. There is a consequences for it because we have a lot of fact check platforms across Nigeria, and what we do is to fact check information, report those platforms. For instance, Dubawa is an affiliate of the Center for Journalism, Innovation and Development. Their office is domiciled in Abuja. You can search Dubawa on Facebook. They have an account on Facebook. They have on Twitter. They have on LinkedIn. They are everywhere. Dubawa, what they do is to fact check information. When they see information that are not credible, they fact check it and they report those platforms. For instance, I've even been part of them before. I've done a fellowship with them before. And when we discover that there's a particular platform that is regularly sharing misinformation or fake news, we try to report such platform. We tag them that this platform on Facebook, they are always, we screenshot their platform, report it to Facebook that this platform, what they always do is to share fake news. And before you know, when we report 1 or 2 or 3 times to Facebook, what they do is to put down the such accounts so that they don't continue to spread informations that are not correct. So there are a lot of consequences for it. And one other important thing is that when people know that your platform is always sharing misinformation, they don't believe your platform again. That's what I was trying to say. For instance, where I work, my organization, you cannot, because we don't retract information. Because of that, we had to take our time to put out any narrative. Because when we put it out, we don't retract information. You know, there's some platforms, they are very good at retracting information. They will come back now tomorrow and say, we apologize, we are sorry, we don't know that the information is not correct. We don't do that on my platform. Because of that, we take our time. We may not break news. And you know why this kind of misinformation continue to spread is because most of these bloggers, they want traffic. They do it because of traffic. They want a lot of people to click. They want you to click. The more you click, the more they get visibility and the more they get money. That's the problem. But what we do is to ensure that to have a correct narrative out there, we report their platforms. We know this platform is not credible, we report them. And when you report 1 or 2 or 3 times, Facebook pull down their platform. So that's what we do. So there's a consequences for it, sir. I don't know, maybe I've answered your question.
All right, great. But that means there are no consequences from the government.
Yes, there are consequences, but you know, we have laws in Nigeria, but implementation is the problem. Like the cyber crime act. In fact, that law on its own, it's encompassing. If you go to the social, apart from spreading fake information, if you go to that social space to humiliate people, to bully people, there's a consequence for it. When you go out there to say things that are not supposed to be said, take for instance, what happened recently in Nigeria, the issue of the aviation saga, where a lady's body was exposed, her bombs was exposed, and some illiterates started sharing it on their platforms. Because I'm sorry to call them illiterate, because they don't know that there are consequences for such action. They share a video on Facebook, you are sharing it, you don't know that it's against the privacy of that person. Some even share to the extent that they don't blur it. If the lady wants to sue them with their phone, they can get them sued. The phone they used to share it, they will just trace the IP number of the phone. Before you know it, they are gone. They will track them. So I know that a lot of them, they don't have information. That's why they do what they do. But information is power. When you have information, there are some things you don't want to do. There are some narratives you don't push out.